Join me as I recount a chilling personal experience that began with a simple walk in the woods. What I discovered changed my life forever and led me on a quest for justice that I never expected. I decided to take a walk in the nearby forest to clear my mind. It was a serene afternoon, the sun filtering through the trees, casting dappled shadows on the ground. As I ventured deeper, the air grew cooler and the sounds of civilization faded away, replaced by the rustling of leaves and the distant call of birds. It was then that I stumbled upon something that caught my eye, a glimpse of something unusual partially buried under a blanket of fallen leaves. Curiosity piqued. I brushed the leaves aside to reveal a skeletal hand protruding from the earth. My heart raced as I realized I had discovered a human skeleton. I reported my finding to the authorities, and they arrived to examine the site. They confirmed that the remains were indeed human and likely quite old. However, that night marked the beginning of an eerie series of events that would forever alter my perception of reality. As I lay in bed, trying to sleep, I felt a chill in the room. I opened my eyes to find a translucent figure standing at the foot of my bed. It was the ghostly apparition of a man, his eyes filled with a sorrowful plea. He pointed toward the forest, his lips moving soundlessly, yet I understood his message perfectly. He wanted justice. He wanted me to uncover the truth about his death. Over the next few days, the apparition visited me frequently, leading me to various locations in the forest. Each visit brought me closer to understanding his story. He had been a young man named Thomas, who had gone missing many years ago under mysterious circumstances. Determined to help Thomas, I began my own investigation. I scoured old newspaper archives, spoke with locals who remembered the case, and pieced together fragments of his life. It became clear that Thomas had been a kind-hearted individual who had somehow fallen foul of someone dangerous. The ghostly visits became more intense as I delved deeper into the mystery. Thomas showed me visions of his final moments being lured into the forest by someone he trusted, only to be brutally attacked and left for dead. The anguish and fear in his eyes were unbearable to witness. One night, I woke up to find Thomas standing by the window, staring out into the dark forest. He turned to me and uttered his first words, barely audible but filled with desperation. "Find him." I knew I was close. The clues pointed to an old, dilapidated cabin deep within the forested place where Thomas had been taken on the night of his murder. I decided to visit the cabin, hoping to find something that would lead me to his killer. The cabin was even more decrepit than I had imagined, with broken windows and rotting wood. As I entered, I felt a cold breeze and saw Thomas's ghost materialize beside me. He pointed to a loose floorboard, and with trembling hands, I pried it open. Hidden beneath was a rusted knife, stained with what could only be old blood. Taking the knife to the authorities, I explained its significance. They agreed to reopen the case, and forensic tests confirmed that the blood on the knife matched Thomas's DNA. The investigation led to the arrest of an elderly man who had once been a close friend of Thomas. Under questioning, he eventually confessed, revealing a motive rooted in jealousy and betrayal. Thomas's ghost visited me one last time, his expression one of gratitude and peace. As he faded away, I felt a sense of closure, knowing that justice had finally been served. The forest seemed less ominous now. The weight of its dark secret lifted. In the end, my encounter with Thomas's spirit taught me that sometimes the dead need our help to find peace, and in helping them, we too can find a deeper understanding of justice and the enduring impact of our actions. As the days turned into weeks, the small town buzzed with the news of the solved mystery. The old man's confession brought a sense of relief to many, but it also reopened old wounds. Families reminisced about the days when Thomas was alive, and a sense of justice, albeit delayed, brought some comfort to those who remembered him. For me, life slowly returned to a semblance of normalcy. The forest, which once felt like a dark and foreboding place, now seemed almost welcoming. My walks there became moments of reflection rather than trepidation. However, Thomas's story lingered in my mind, a constant reminder of the unseen connections between the living and the dead. One evening, as I sat by my window, looking out at the setting sun, I felt a familiar chill in the air. Turning around, I saw Thomas's ghost once again, but this time he was not alone. Surrounding him were other spectral figures, each with a story untold, each seeking resolution. It was as if Thomas had become a guide for the other lost souls, leading them to someone who could help them find peace. I realized then that my journey was not yet over. Thomas's appearance was a sign that there were more stories to uncover, more spirits to aid. Each ghost had a unique history, a tale of tragedy or injustice, and I felt an overwhelming sense of duty to assist them as I had helped Thomas. With a newfound resolve, I began documenting my experiences, creating a journal of the spectral encounters and the stories they revealed. The forest, once a place of fear, became my sanctuary, a place where I could connect with the past and bring light to forgotten shadows. Months later, I received an unexpected letter. It was from a distant relative of Thomas, thanking me for uncovering the truth and helping their family find closure. They invited me to a small memorial service in the town, where they planned to honor Thomas and remember his life. Attending the service, I was struck by the outpouring of love and gratitude from the community. Thomas's story had touched many hearts, and my role in unveiling it had brought people together in a way I had never anticipated. It was a poignant reminder that even in death, we can have a profound impact on the lives of others. As I stood by Thomas's grave, surrounded by those who had loved him, I felt a sense of peace. The spectral figures that had once haunted my nights now seemed to watch over me with gratitude, their forms slowly fading as they found their own rest. In the end, Thomas's spirit had not only sought justice, but had also guided me to a greater understanding of the connections between the past and the present, the living and the dead. My journey with the spirits was far from over, but with each story uncovered and each soul set free, I felt a deepening sense of purpose. And so, with a heart full of resolve, I continued my walks in the forest, ready to listen, ready to uncover the untold stories that lingered in the shadows, ready to bring light to the darkness.